Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking all about my favorite highlighter formulas. I have a pretty decent amount of affordable highlighters, and then I have two that are more on the high-end side, but I was a little bit surprised that most of my picks were from the drugstore side of my collection. So if you are interested in seeing what my favorite highlighter formulas are currently of all time, then go ahead and just keep watching. Okay, so I also just really quickly wanted to say that my husband and I went kayaking today for the first time, and we decided a week ago to purchase kayaks to kind of get us outside and doing some more fun stuff on the weekends together. So I went, and yesterday I went to the beach with my younger sister. I didn't do a very good job of sunscreen, which is stupid because I like put it on, but I don't know if I got into the water too quickly, but it kind of wore off on my back and on my shoulders. So I'm a little bit sensitive in those areas right now. And then today we went kayaking, and I really protected myself, but I'm still like feeling sore and just kind of not in my element. So I am not doing my makeup for this video or for my Wishlist Wednesday this week, but I will be doing my makeup at least this upcoming weekend. I feel like I just haven't been in that super creative space, but I'm getting there. So we're working on it. But let's go ahead and jump into this hot mess that I have in front of me right now. So I figured that I would probably start from the bottom and then move my way up in terms of pricing. So the very first highlighter that I have is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter, and this one is in the shade Be My Highlight. So this is what the packaging looks like right here. And then we have just a clear lid. So I want to say that this is around $3, and I got this on the recommendation from Kathleen Lights. So she is all about those really natural, subtle, everyday glow. So this is the highlight right here, and as you can see, it definitely is going to be more of that natural, subtle kind of glow from within look. It's not going to be anything that is super overwhelming or very striking on the cheeks. It just gives you that nice little pop right here. So what I love about this formula so much is pretty much everything that I just said. It is the perfect everyday highlight for my skin tone. So that's why I love it so much. Plus it's $3 and you get this ginormous pan. I can't even imagine hitting pan on this anytime soon because it is very finely milled, and a little bit goes a long way because you are just working with a very natural highlight. It's not going to be something that you need to build up because that's not what this highlight is for, if that makes sense. So it is buildable, I will say that. So obviously the more you use, the more like striking the highlight will be, but it's not going to be one of those that you put on and you're like, whoa, you have highlight on your cheeks. So it just gives that really beautiful subtle glow. I also love to use this on my eyelid for just a little tiny bit of a sheen, kind of that wet Victoria's Secret model look. So that's just a little trick. I love using actually all highlighters for that, not just this one. I just like this one because it looks really nice on my lids with my skin tone and everything. But that's just a little trick if you're looking for a super, super shiny, pearlescent looking eyeshadow for all over your lid, just use your highlighter. All right, so next up, I think this one is gonna be, yeah, okay, so this one is the Wet n Wild Megaglo Highlighting Powders. I have two of them, so I think this is kind of like the step up. I want to say these are $4.99. So I have it in Precious Petals, and the little imprint on this is really cute. It's kind of just this little flower imprint. So this is Precious Petals, and this is the one that I will use on the high points of my cheeks right here. It's really, really beautiful. It's kind of like a pale golden champagne. So it's right here. Obviously you can see it's a little bit more striking than the Essence highlighter. So this is Precious Petals, and again, very finely milled. I feel like whenever these came out, people became obsessed with Wet n Wild again. Like, I honestly don't even remember myself ever using Wet n Wild that much before these came out. They have some good mascaras, but when these highlighters first came out, that's whenever I rediscovered Wet n Wild just as a brand, because I was like, okay, wow, you did something just as well as like a high-end brand. So this one right here, if you can see, is kind of more of a peachy undertone to it. And this one is called Crown of My Canopy. So for this one, even whenever I'm super tan like I am right now, tan for myself, I cannot use this as a highlight. I have to use it as a blush topper, but I love this color as a blush topper, especially if I'm working with very peachy, kind of like rosy tones, because it doesn't transform the color of my blush too much, but it just gives it a little something extra. And I'll just put it right here on the apples of my cheeks, and it just gives me that beautiful like glow from within, but a little bit more than that. So I love these highlights so much. Honestly, I feel like these are pretty comparable to the Becca highlights, which I actually have coming up as well, in the sense that they are just so finely milled, but they also don't have a lot of kickback. So I don't find myself having to blow off of these a lot, just because something within the formula, it's almost like they're moist too, because they... I feel like people are going to be upset that I use that word, but it is. It's almost like they have moisture in them that keeps it from kicking up too much. So you are definitely going to get your money's worth with these, especially because they're so affordable. All right, next up, I feel like this one is the next like payment wise up, if you get what I'm saying. Sorry, I've been in the sun all day, pretty much all weekend actually, so if I'm a little bit loopy, that's what's going on. But this highlighter is brand new to me, and I know that sometimes people get weird whenever you have a brand new product and you throw it into like a favorites video, but honestly y'all, this was love at first touch, at first swipe, like I can't even. So this is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter. So first off, the packaging is the classic, very like, what am I trying to say? Florida, bohemian, tropical paradise packaging. I love it. And then on the inside, it almost looks like waves are in sand. So I'll show it to you. But the packaging on the inside, or not the packaging, but the imprint is so beautiful and cool. Never really seen anything quite like this before. Focus, hello, there we are. So this one is in the shade Rose Gold, which is perfect because it is more of that rose gold highlight. So that is my swatch. Literally just swirled it around like 2 to 3 times. Y'all can see that from that far away. I know you can. But oh my gosh. This is it right here. Can y'all see? I know you can see that. That is so beautiful and it's striking, and it just looks like it's wet. It doesn't look like it's chalky or too much or overdone. It just looks like my skin is literally glowing. So what I have been doing ever since I got this highlight, my mom actually gave it to me because she has more mature skin and she didn't like, she actually doesn't really like highlighters, period. So it's hard to say whether or not this would be great for mature skin. I feel like it would, just because it is so wet looking, and I know that wet highlighters look like, what am I trying to say? Liquid highlighters look a lot better on more mature skin than powder highlighters do, because liquid highlighters don't accentuate wrinkles and what am I trying to say? Yeah, wrinkles, sorry. As much as powder does. So this is it right here, but what I've been doing recently is applying it to the high points of my cheek right here and then stopping like right there, okay? And I'll just kind of like where my eye socket like starts to form right there, I'll put it right here, and then I'll also smile and just dust a tiny little bit on the apples of my cheeks. And I've been loving the way that it looks. So whenever you touch this, it literally feels like butter. And I love how they name it like the butter collection, basically, because that's what it feels like. You dip your finger into it whenever you swatch it, and it just feels so soft and cushiony, but not wet, but it looks wet. I don't know how to explain it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I think this is $8.99, somewhere within that price range. So you also get like a pretty decent sized pan. I'll actually take the lid off so you can see. So that's a pretty decent sized pan. I'm not sure exactly how deep it goes, but I want to say that like I have the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I use that all the time, and I'm nowhere close to hitting pan with it, which is kind of, I feel like this whole pan thing that I have going on is just not working out for me, but that's a whole nother video in of itself. So I love that bronzer so much, or not bronzer, highlighter so much. It is literally love at first touch, first sight, first swipe on my skin, obsessed with it. Next up, we have probably one of my favorite highlighters of all time. This is the Pixi X Aspyn Ovard Santorini Sunset. This is the packaging, classic, like very pale lime green. And then in here, we have the most beautiful pale gold champagne ever. Like, I love this highlight so much. What I love most about it is, first off, like the pigmentation is crazy. But I love the fact that I can swipe on just a pinch of this and it's perfect for everyday wear. Or I can really build it up and get it to where it looks like how it is right now, because I really like got in there and swiped around. So you can build this up so well. It's not going to look powdery on the skin. It's very finely milled. It's absolutely beautiful. Such a great formula. They did an amazing job on this, honestly. And whenever the sun hits your face, so pretty. What I love to do with this as well is to use that as an eyeshadow and an inner corner highlight. For some reason, I really struggle with inner corner highlight, like just right here in that tear duct. I don't know if it's like the way that my eyes go in, but for some reason I see it on other girls and it looks very apparent and very striking and very beautiful. But with my eyes, for some reason, a lot of the highlights I will use in that inner corner get lost, and this one does not. So it gives me that really beautiful highlight in the inner corner as well. I love this. If you have my skin tone, I honestly, to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure collection wise, because Pixi isn't one of those brands that I go and I look at all the time, just because I feel like they are a lot more on that high-end price range for the drugstore. So whenever I go to the drugstore, I go there for the more affordable brands. Pixi I kind of just look at every now and then. So I'm not sure how their color range is with their highlight, but if you are within my skin tone range, this one is beautiful. So I highly recommend that one. All right, now we have pretty much just two high-end, like much more high-end. The first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kits. I don't think I have heard anyone complain about a single one of their glow kits, other than maybe like, oh, this color doesn't work out for me or something like that. But I definitely want to get more. I actually just put, I forgot, maybe it was called like the Dreamy or the Unicorn, something within that realm. They have a new highlighting palette that came out and it has 6 different shades, I want to say. But the one that I have is Gleam. So we have this really beautiful silver and white packaging right here. And then on the inside, we get 4 pans that are huge. Like, these are ginormous pans, and you can actually take them out if you have a Z palette and pop them into your Z palette, or if you like, I don't know. I don't know why they do that, honestly, but you can take the pans out. So we have Hard Candy, Mimosa, Crushed Pearl, and Starburst. So Hard Candy and Mimosa I use as blush toppers, and actually Mimosa sometimes I will use to go over my bronzer whenever I'm wanting to look super glowy and dewy. But Starburst and Crushed Pearl I love for that pop of highlight right here. I will do a little swatch. So this one is Crushed Pearl, and these are wet highlighters. So wait, where am I? Just want to make sure I'm pointing to the right one. So this one right here is Crushed Pearl. So as you can see, the Pixi highlight has a very similar like highlighting power as the Anastasia ones. And then we also have Starburst, which again, if you are very fair, is going to be another really gorgeous blush topper because it does have that pink to it. And then we have Hard Candy. So what I really love about these is that they're kind of duochrome in the sense that whenever this is, where am I? Right here. This is Hard Candy. But you can kind of see it in the pan that they have kind of two, what am I trying to say? Like two shades that are pretty much the same shade, but just a little bit different. So for example, Hard Candy has that very nice, rich terracotta undertone to it, but then the actual Pearlescence has like a little bit of a pinkiness to it. So it's something that I can't really describe on camera or show on camera. Maybe I can. I don't know. I feel like you're just not going to pick it up the same way as in person. So do you see like right here in the center we have more pink, and then the outer edges we have more of that terracotta? So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like it just has different reflex in it. And then I'll swatch Mimosa for you too, which would look really, really beautiful on much deeper skin tones. But for me, I use it as a blush topper. So this is Mimosa right here. It actually matches my skin tone right now kind of perfectly. Interesting. But I still feel like it would show up on my face because I don't tan my face as much as the rest of my body. I don't think it would show up quite the same. I think it would still look a little bit darker. But these are actually a great deal because I feel like this kit with 4 full-size highlights is either 42 or 48, but it's in the 40s. So if you are willing to kind of save up your money for 4 incredible highlights, I would definitely recommend these palettes. They are amazing, and I've never swatched. I've swatched pretty much every single one of them except for their brand new one that came out, and I love all of them. Like they're very, very good. So this is one of those products that I feel like personally it's worth saving up for, especially if you have all of the highlights that you can play around with and you can use. So maybe there's one that you don't really like the colors as much, but this one for me works really well. Like Crushed Pearl, I use all the time whenever I'm super fair. And then I will mix Stardust and Crushed Pearl together whenever I am wanting to like use, or whenever I have the skin tone that I'm at right now. And then like I said, these two are either blush toppers or Mimosa I will use in my bronzing area. So love those. And then of course, I feel like I couldn't have a highlight video without Becca Cosmetics. Honestly, they are just an awesome brand. Like they know very well how to create makeup that works well for a lot of different people. So I have several different highlights from them. I have the Jaclyn Hill and Becca palette that has Mimosa, or no, I'm sorry, Prosecco and Champagne Pop. So I have that one. And then the individuals, I have 3. So I have the Lilac Geode right here. And then I have Opal, and I have a full size of Champagne Pop. So basically, these are expensive as hell. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. They're $38, $36, somewhere within that range. And that's a lot of money for one product. So for me, it's more of if you are just kind of an everyday gal, or you just want like one highlight that is your go-to highlight, I would recommend taking a look at these because they are awesome. But it's not going to be something, unless makeup is your life or you're a beauty vlogger or whatever, that you should spend over $30 on one product, just because there are so many great highlights out there. But I will say that the formula, they did something really, really right. So I'm going to swatch Opal. So Opal is much more cool toned. So in the pan, you can see right here, it's kind of like a silvery taupe highlight is how I would describe it. And on some people, this is going to be looking a little bit muddy. So you just need to make sure that you go in and you swatch. Honestly, I would swatch on your face if you can, like try to find a hygienic way to do that. But this is Opal right here. So it's very, very beautiful and shimmery. When you apply these highlights, it's not going to be like a subtle little, oh, you have a little pop going on there. No, it's going to be like bam on your face. So this is Opal right here, and as you can see, it's doing pretty good on my tan skin. Sometimes I have a hard time with this because if I'm looking a little bit more yellow, because I'm in that weird like kind of tan but not my reddish tan like I have going on right now, when I'm more yellow in my skin tone, or more olive, I guess you could say, this one doesn't work on me as well. It makes it look a little bit muddy. But whenever I am very, very, very fair, this actually looks pretty good. So that's Opal, definitely more cool toned for sure. And then we have Lilac Geode, which actually my mom gave to me. And it's a really cool highlight. So this is what it looks like in the pan. Definitely has that lilac undertone with kind of like peachy sheen to it. I don't know. That's how I would describe it. But this one I don't use as a highlight. It's right here. I actually use this as a blush topper just because whenever I put any sort of like funky color on my upper cheekbones, it just doesn't work for my skin. I don't know what it is about me. I know some people can really rock those like unicorn, multiple shades going on in that area. I'm not one of those girls. It just doesn't work for my skin for some reason, but that's okay. And then next up we have Champagne Pop, which is actually a highlight that I love to wear whenever I am super tan like I am right now, because this is like pure gold for your face. So it's right here. Oh, so freaking pretty. So basically, like I said, I love these because I have them in my collection. Do you feel like you need to go out and purchase these? No, because there are, like, honestly, they're pretty comparable to the Wet n Wild highlight. I don't even remember where I put them on my hand. I feel like maybe over here or something. But like all of these highlights, you guys, are pretty similar. But these are just like the favorite formulas that I have in my collection. I have a lot of highlighters compared to other products that I have. So with that being said, if you love makeup, this is probably high-end wise like the best in the game are Becca Cosmetics. So I love those, but again, the other ones, the Anastasia Glow Kit is a really, really great way to go if you're looking for something that's a little more bougie and you want to have on your vanity, or you just want to spoil yourself one day. That's totally okay. That's a really great way to go because you get 4 for the price of 1 Becca highlight. But again, Becca's really, really great. All of these highlighters are really great. That's why I chose them. So I hope that this video was enjoyable for you. I know a lot of you who watch my videos consistently have seen me use these products a ton, but sometimes I just like to, like I said, get on here and talk about out of my collection, what I personally have, what is my favorite, because I mean, I could go through all the rest of my highlights and show you, but I have several. Like I have others from Wet n Wild. I have stuff from Josie Maran, ColourPop, other Physician Formula stuff, Gerard Cosmetics. Like there's just a lot of highlighters going on in that situation. So these are my top choices, and I hope that this video was helpful. And if there is like a way that you would like for me to go through my makeup collection talking about the different formulas, let me know. Like if you feel like something's missing, or if you want like more information on the formula or something like that, just let me know down below in the comments and I can absolutely do that for y'all. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and sign off and rub some more lotion all over my body. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.